Hello and welcome to my Impact Wrestling review. Welcome to the UNCAGED pay-per-view theme show tonight. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of really good things on the show, I would say too. With the main event being for the World Heavyweight Championship between Johnny Impact, Killer Cross, Moose, and Brian Cage. I believe this is the last taping in Mexico before they move on back to Las Vegas, Nevada in Sam's Town next week. But there was a lot of really great things going on with the Uncaged pay-per-view, because we kicked it off with action right off the bat for the Knockouts Championship in a street fight with Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie. There was a giant black table in the middle of the ring, but on the turnbuckle that said "Where I Loca" versus, it was a picture of a diamond out there, because Tessa came out first, pretty much having street clothes on and a Four Horsemen shirt, as Taya Valkyrie came out then for some reason had Ultimate Warrior like face paint gear. That looked kind of strange to me, but as she had Ultimate Warrior face paint gear, she also had the so I pointed this out, the Los Perros del Mal t-shirt, which she was part of a group, well, it was a stable in AAA. If you do know, their leader was Pero Aguayo Jr. I don't really know that much. I know about the whole accident that happened a few years ago with the whole Rey Mysterio thing, and him dying in the ring because of, I don't really know. I think I remember the legit death. But I remember people tried to blame Rey Mysterio because of that 619 at the time. It's really messed up though. But moving on into the show, as Taya came out second, immediately Tessa charged all the way up to the stage with a steel chair missing, as both women started brawling with each other all the way back down to the ramp. Tessa was able to get the upper hand in and get her into the ring, but Taya hit her with a very wicked German suplex then, and started kicking Tessa after that. But as Taya threw Tessa out the ring, Taya was going to go for a suicide dive, but Tessa hit her with I believe it was either a chair or a cookie sheet right to the head, as she was, in mid-suicide dive, knocking her to the ground then, pretty much throwing Taya around then, as she drop-kicked her into the guardrail, very tall guardrail too. But as Tessa was getting the upper hand in, I think they kept him cooking sheets. Tessa was able to knock Taya over to the guardrail into the crowd, but Taya came back with a cup of beer and threw it into Tessa's face then. Taya jumped off the guard railing into Tessa then, but she did jump off the guard rail, but Tessa pretty much kicked her in midair, almost like a roundhouse kick, as she fell to the ground. Tessa then got a chair, was gonna hit a fan with it, but pretty much backed off of then and started. She pretty much took the chair around Taya's neck and then rammed it into the ring post. Then after that, onto the ground. Tessa pretty much got her into the ring then, started choking her out with a electrical cable, and then ripped off the shirt. And this is I will say this, you gotta give it to Tessa here, because she does know how to be a really great heel out there with trying to hit one of the fans. But one thing that was another touch to it, I know some people think it'd be disrespecting the dead, but she took the shirt of Taya, the Paraguayo shirt, and pretty much spit on it and started stepping on it. She looked to the sky and it just stepped all over it. Immediately fans booed at Tessa after that. And pretty much immediately they booed Tessa after that. Tessa got some more chairs then, threw it inside of the ring. There were chairs everywhere. Ty was able to get up then, pretty much taking down Tessa Blanchard, throwing her into the corner and then hitting her with a cooking sheet, in her leg, trying to go for the road to Valhalla, but it did not work. Tessa pretty much, stomped the chair on Taya's shoulder then, and pretty much as the chairs were all over the ring, they run into the top rope, but Taya was able to do a Samoan drop. Pretty much looked like Taya hit her head more onto the chairs as they went to commercial then. Really great match, I will say that too. Pretty much even come back after the commercial with the chairs being in the ring. Taya and Tessa pretty much set up chairs, standing up. As both sat there, they both started slapping each other across the chest then, like a strong style, who could hit who harder, which was pretty cool. But Taya pretty much kicked Tessa out of the chair and started stomping on her head then. Tessa had pretty much countered and speared Taya into that giant black table in the middle of the ring, which did not break. The fans chanted "one more time" or another. I think it was in Spanish though. Which when I said didn't see that table, and Tessa speared into that table Taya into the table 2 times, which looked very brutal. But every time when I see the table not breaking, all you can think of is on Botchamania and say, "I am the table." But since the table did not break, Tessa went to get another table that could actually will break. As the fans chanted, "We want tables." Then she put Taya's head on the table, but Taya pretty much pushed the table out of the way. Taya pretty much able to cross the body on the outside of the ring. Then, as pretty much both women that got back into the ring, Taya had the cooking sheet and hit a big Tessa over the head with it, pretty much putting her onto the table, even though the table was kind of falling down. Taya got to the top rope, double stomp onto the table, pretty much breaking it. Taya won the match. Very brutal hardcore match that was really great to kick off the show, I will say that. Very great match. It was very enjoyable. There's a lot of spots you can name from this, from, like I said, to the spear into the giant table, from the beginning of the match to both women sitting in chairs slapping the crap out of each other. Tessa being a great heel by antagonizing the fans and stepping over the the Paragonio shirt, but it was a very great hardcore match, very enjoyable. I'm assuming Tessa Blanchard's gonna fight Gail Kim after this, since she's been blaming her for screwing her out of the championship to begin with. Taya, I don't know where she goes on from this, unless she's gonna do another match with Tessa Blanchard or something, or if there will be another rematch in that. I'm not really sure, because I look at the rest of the other women in the division right now who are pretty much occupied by the Undead Realm thing going on. If you look at it, because I'm trying to know if I know about the entire Knockouts roster. Like I said, you have Jordan Grace, Allie, Rosemary, Sue Young, and Kiera Hogan pretty much involved in the Undead thing. I don't know if Kaylee, what's her name, Katarina is still there, or Kaylee Birch, or whatever you want to call her, is still involved in the company and that. I'm not really sure. Maybe we'll see that in the Vegas tapings. But right now, I don't know where Taya really goes on from this, unless it's going to be another match against Tessa, because pretty much the top people you got going for the title right now is Taya and Tessa Blanchard for the Knockouts Championship. But like I said, very great hardcore match. I'm sure Gail Kim's going to get involved in the middle of this one way sooner or later, so watch out for that. Melissa Santos interviewed pretty much the Impact team as they were getting ready for this World Cup match tonight, with followed by Sami Callihan, Eddie Edwards, and Eli Drake. Sami pretty much had the microphone then, but Eli Drake did the whole "let me talk to you" and stuff, as Sami said, "I should be the leader because I was Impact Wrestler of the Year," but followed by pretty much said, "Bye," and Callihan, "We don't understand what you're saying," and we understand what you're saying, and he was gonna be the leader because he started arguing with Eddie Edwards, but Drake said, "Let's calm down here. There's a lot of money and this cup is on the line tonight." But Callihan says, "I'm only doing this for the money, okay? I'm a maniac for hire, and that's why I'm doing this match to begin with. So I got someone else to do and take care of some business right now." Drake pretty much, said we're gonna beat the AAA guys tonight, and pretty much, look to Eddie Edwards, bring the old Eddie Edwards and drop Kenny in the denim jeans and bring back the, classic Eddie Edwards tonight. So as they going on from that, we then went to Willie Mack versus Ethan Page. It was a really good match, mostly enhancement match really, especially for Willie Mack to get the win. Pretty much hit him with the stunner on Ethan Page, so it was pretty good. But it was a pretty good match. It gives Mack a win right now, just to kind of build him up. So we'll see where this goes, because I know he's somewhat still involved in this whole OVE and Rich Swann thing going on, but I'm not really sure where that's going. Ethan Page, does anybody know what happened to Matt Sydal? Does it mean that they just kind of... I believe I've seen Matt Sydal since Homecoming. Like, is he still with the company, if I'm not mistaken on that? Because I seriously, I don't know where Matt Sydal is right now. I haven't seen him, and Ethan Page has just, been doing his own thing, really. That's all I can really attribute to that, is that he's just been doing his own thing. So I don't know what Ethan Page is doing other than just kind of being just an enhancement guy right now, until they find something up for him. Just don't wait too long to let these guys waste, because they've done it with many people, and that's why they end up leaving the company. Trevor Lee, for example. But as the Mac 1, they then went to a promo with Killer Cross in the back. Cross was kind of promo from wherever he was, talking about John, saying, you know, you're going to need a miracle to get out here tonight, because tonight it seems like a 3-on-1 handicap match that all three of us, your opponents, have technically beaten you. But he told John, you know, to focus, because, you know, you're going to pretty much be destroyed. He's going to attack and annihilate in advance tonight, as he says. Cross pretty much ended the promo with him. Everybody pays the toll, but you think the video would go off after that. They pretty much moved the camera, because Cross left the camera. But as the camera didn't cut off, they showed the Mac walking into a locker room, and OVE was pretty much sneaking up on him, walking into the, you know, they were walking behind the Mac into whatever locker room it was, probably to jump him. But very interesting that the camera was still rolling after Cross's promo and just didn't, you know, cut out or anything. They pretty much transitioned into a whole different segment with the Mac, you know, after he had his match, and now OVE, the Chris brothers, sneaking up on him, which probably gonna take him out in the back. So we'll see from that. Melissa Santos was talking to the AAA team of Aerostar, Puma King, Psycho Clown, and El Hijo de Vikingo. I don't really know a lot of these guys, to be honest, other than Aerostar, because of Lucha Underground. Mr. Santos, they think they had in Spanish, they had subtitles then, as I believe Psycho Clown saying they're going to win tonight. This is about AAA. They know Impact Wrestling's good, but in prestigious, but we're going to prove that we're the #1 company. This is our home turf. This is, you know, this is Mexico, so that's what they were going to do. I don't know a lot of these guys. The Vikingo guy is pretty good in the ring, and I'll get to him later tonight. It's what I've seen the past few weeks. Puma King, I feel like I see him in MLW a lot. Psycho Clown, everybody keeps saying he's supposed to be the #1 guy in AAA right now since Pentagon and Phoenix left, or something like that. All I really know about him, he was an Impact last year, but it wasn't good. And I remember he beat Dr. Wegner Jr. at that AAA event for his mask, which they did mention that. So I don't really know a lot, but like I said, Aerostar, I know him off of Lucha Underground now. But, you know, Psycho Clown pretty much ended saying, oh, Arriba Mexico, Arriba Lucha Libre, Arriba AAA. So they were getting ready for that. But before that match could even begin, Sami Callihan had some business to take care of as he came out, as he talked about Rich Swann, calling him Richard Swann, and he says, you need to make a choice now. And, you know, you keep turning down my offers every week, but now we need to speak of this now. This is your last chance, okay? Swan came out, but he did not really, was actually more serious, didn't really dance coming to the ring. He was more pissed off coming out, as Callihan pretty much, you know, there's an easy way and there's a hard way. He gave, you know, he threw the shirt at Swan. Swan picked it up, but he threw it back at Callihan, and he said, I wish you didn't do that. And this ended this whole no contact, you know, stint, which, you know, not Swan, but he pretty much looked at Swan and he started hitting him with the microphone. Then pretty much both guys started brawling and everything. Swan was able to dodge the pile driver, and he pretty much got to the started, you know, hitting him then, but he got on the top rope and did like a Phoenix splash off the second rope to the outside of the ring. Swan pretty much fought him up to the stage, but Callihan pretty much got him with a thumb to the eye, pile drived him, and then he threw him off the stage into a whole bunch of tables, which looked pretty brutal. So he pretty much, you know, kicked the living crap out of Rich Swann from there. And then, you know, Callihan, he just went back to the ring, and, you know, he sat there and, you know, pretty much waited for the World Cup match since he kicked the crap out of Swann. But this was really good here, really good segment. And if you want to think about it, you think Mac would have came out and helped, or OVE would have gotten involved, but that goes back to earlier and to where, you know, the rest of OVE followed Mac into the locker room, most likely to hold him back and take him out, so he wouldn't even be able to help Rich Swann as Callihan took him out. So that's attention to detail when you think about it. And, you know, like I said, for one action, there's a reaction to it, and that's what you got from there. But as they were getting ready for this World Cup, which actually had a trophy out there, which looked all right, which even though this, you know, World Cup thing had no type of build to it, and we only knew about this in the past couple weeks for this AAA versus Mexico match, which, here's the thing, the match wasn't even bad, okay? Like, it actually was really good. with everybody mostly getting in their stuff. I think was Eli Drake the first one to pretty much be gone by El Hijo del Vikingo, if I'm correct, out of the ring. Because no, Puma King rolled up Eli Drake to take him out, but Callahan pretty much took out did he take out Puma King next, I believe? I'm trying to remember about my notes here, because I know Eli Drake was Eli Drake was out first in the match. Since he was eliminated first, excuse me, pretty much Ba got in, and he was a Samoan drop. I'm trying to remember what it was, but Puma King was out next. Vikino pretty much came in. Like I did, like how everybody kind of jumped out of the ring, and even Ba, he didn't do a suicide dive, but he just kind of got on the outside and just jumped off the apron. Then after that, I think Puma King was on next though. Pretty much then after that, Vikino was going in on followed Ba, but Ba hit him with a power slam to take him out for the win. Aerostar pretty much took out followed Ba in with a crucifix fan for elimination. Callahan got in and pretty much took Aerostar, got and just started beating the crap out of him. Hits him with a pile driver, pretty much getting the win. I think Puma King still in this? Yeah, I think he was the one that took it. No, Callahan took out Puma King, if I'm correct. Alright, and Psycho Clown pretty much rolled up Sami Callahan for the win, because I think it was just Eddie Edwards and Eddie Edwards and Psycho Clown left. But, Eli Drake pretty much came back and took, Kenny the kendo stick right there. He hit Eddie Edwards with it, and he hit Eddie Edwards with it, and pretty much Psycho Clown hit Edwards with a lung blower for the win and rolled him up. And, he won the World Cup thing. Like I said, not a bad match. And this pretty much sets up another I'm sure it will be a match next week between Edwards and Eli Drake when they go to Vegas. But the AAA won this match day one. Like I said, there's not really any build, but it was a really good, elimination match. I will say that. They had some TV time, of course, but it didn't suck. I will say that. And everybody pretty much, were putting it, getting their shit in it out there. So it was very enjoyable. One thing, a return, which they really need some tag teams. We haven't seen this team in a very long time. Reno Scum is coming back, which they had a video package, and they will be returning in 2 weeks. But what I believe, because I think it's in Vegas, so I think they live in that Nevada era. But Reno Scum, they never really lasted that long the first time they were here. Okay, because I do remember them. I do remember both of those guys, but one of them were hurt, if I'm not mistaken, and they just kind of disappeared and they left the company. Remember them leaving the company? That's when Jeff Jarrett had that whole Global Force thing. And I will give them one thing: they were bringing in some tag teams all the time, even though they made LAX super powerful. They didn't have tag teams, but then all the tag teams started to disappear. Reno Scum wasn't bad. It's just one got hurt, and then the other one, I think they just ended up leaving. But if they are bringing them back, that's good. They need tag teams. I've said that for a long time now, because we can't rely on Pentagon and Phoenix and LAX for everything, even though they put on fantastic matches, and that, discredit on that. But we do need some tag teams, though, because every other tag team they kind of had were either makeshift or they were here for a minute and they disappeared. Where's Homicide and Hernandez, gone. So it's, like I said, it's not a lot of tag teams. But they then went to LAX, as they had a video package from last week. Pretty much they were in, I guess, in their clubhouse or wherever. And pretty much, they look frustrated, as Conan says, "I told you so. I told you so." They says, you knew they were going to lose. They took their anger and they brought it to the ring. And Ramirez looked at Ortiz. You just had to run your mouth to set up this match. And now Conan says, I'm going to request another match, okay? But this time, this is the last time. Win, lose, draw. This is the last time it's going to be LAX versus the Lucha Brothers, because LAX is Conan's family. And he pretty much said they're all he has. And, we got a deal. He says, yeah, they all agreed. So I guess it'll be one more match to end this entire thing, because Conan knew this was going to happen. So he kind of wanted to end this from going down. But we will see what happens next week. They had Dark Alley and Su Yung somewhere, which I guess we're still talking about Rosemary with the the TV screen effect. Says sooner or later, I guess he's gonna come at him with something. So we'll see what happens next week or whenever week that's gonna be. Scarlett Bordeaux will debut next week, in Vegas. So let's see what happens, because I want to see what happens. They've been building this up for like 3-4 weeks now, so let's see what happens then. The Lucha Brothers, not the Lucha Brothers, but they did talk about, I'm going to see this match for some reason when they do this on Twitch, but I do want to see this whole Lucha Brothers versus RVD and Sabu thing. I said that last week, so whatever this United We Stand thing on Twitch, I'm actually going to check that out, because that sounds like a great match, and hopefully it will be great. But main event time, fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight Championship. Really great match, by the way, too. First off, Brian Cage actually came out looking like the Terminator with a giant arm and eye thing, did his theme, so she had some gear coming out there. But yes, Cage, Impact, Cross, and Moose pretty much battling. Really great match out there, I will say that. Right off the beginning, these guys just start kicking the crap out of each other, and which was just great. Cage and a double German suplex on both Moose and Cross was really good. Impact doing like a springboard into I think it was like a second row springboard into a DDT, looked good. I'm trying to go with all the spots that happened, but this was, like I said, it was a really great match. I will say that for a fatal 4-way, and because at one point Moose and Cross were teaming, but then they turned on each other. Cross hit which, like I said, when we get to the more ending of the match, but I do remember that Cage had hit he hit Moose with a drill claw. Cross then hit Cage with a Doomsday Saito, which Cage no sold, hit him into a no sold it, hit him into like a what was it tried to hit him into the like that discus forearm thing he does, and try to get the cross jacket, but Moose broke it up. And it's gonna come back later on also, because they did do a Tower Doom spot. The fans chanted "This is wrestling," which was pretty good. Like I said, the fans were really into this match. But we're trying to go. What's what happened next after that? I lead him with another drill claw gig in Cage. He did hit Moose with another drill claw after he have to hit Moose with a big knee, but then, like I said, Cross hit him with a Doomsday Saito, and Cage pretty much no sold it, hit him with the tornado claw, and this is where the end of the match where it was interesting. Johnny, he hits the Starship Pain on Moose, which he barely hit him. You can go back and look at the clip. He looked like he barely touched Moose, but his Cross had the drill claw on Killer Cross. The referee focused on Johnny Impact and pinned 3 count for him. So once again, Brian Cage was screwed out of the world title, as pretty much, Cage and Johnny had a stare down and pretty much arguing with each other as Johnny got there with the title. But Cage, I think the story is that Cage has been again screwed out of the championship, even with a fatal 4-way, because the referee did not see it, which gave sympathy more for Cage, as he is doing everything he can to get the championship, because he's been screwed since Homecoming, and he wants that title shot so he can beat Johnny for the championship. But you see Killer Cross and Moose are involved one way or another. So could they turn Johnny heel? Because the fans, Mexico was more with him, but back at Homecoming, the fans were more with either Cage or Killer Cross, and were mostly booing at Johnny. Could they turn Johnny Impact heel? I don't know, but like I said, he's still doing good as world champion, but fans are really turning on him now and are mostly with Cage, which they are really building him up very well, since he had these weird coincidences of him getting screwed over for the championship, so it gains sympathy for him. So I will say that, but we will see what happens next week when they go to Vegas. But to add off of that, this was a like I said, it was a really good show tonight, very enjoyable. Like I said, for a pay-per-view themed show, it was good, very good show. World Cup match, pretty good. Really good match out there. I did like the Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie in the street fight. Really great match. And the Fatal 4-way was, a great match to end off the show. So it was like if it's 3 matches you got to watch, those are the top 3. But if you just want to, if you don't care about the World Cup, watch the street fight for the Knockouts Championship and watch the Fatal 4-way for the World Championship. Really good stuff out there. And I did like the Callahan and Swan segment also, to see where that is going to lead into. So a very interesting show tonight. I did enjoy it. It wasn't really bad. So I liked it for the Uncaged theme show. But we will see what happens next week in Vegas. I don't know a lot going down in Scarlett Bordeaux's debut next week, but I'm sure there'll be some fallout from this Fatal 4-Way match from, tonight on Impact. But we'll see what happens from there. But I'm going to go. I'm out of here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the show tonight. It's me, the HDD. Come in, news and reviews. Know I am, know what I do. Stay intact. This is Impact. And check out any other past reviews I got up there also. So, like I said, very enjoyable show, but I'm going to go. I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Peace out.